Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the inaugural episode of the PIDCAST. My name is Ryan, and I will be your de facto host of the evening. We'll hopefully be able to get the other members of the band in at some point, just kind of working around schedules and that sort of thing, like Logan works late and stuff. I want to welcome everybody. Thanks for showing up, and I think that this is going to be a really fun, cool thing going forward. I've had this idea for a little while to kind of do, I don't like the word podcast. I feel like podcast is a word that should be reserved for the individuals out there like Peapod, who are absolutely, putting their everything and their all into doing a podcast. And I don't know that that's necessarily like what this is. Like, I think this is more just like an informal kind of like, hey, let's hang out, let's talk about music, let's talk about stuff, let's joke around and just have fun with shit. I don't really have any super serious expectations for this series, but just really something that we can use to connect more with our community and stuff. And looking forward to see where it goes and the guests that we get on. So I see some comments are flooding in, so I just wanted to give some shouts outs to some people here. We've got Andrea. Hi, Andrea. Thanks for popping in. Peapod. Hey, what's up, my dude? I was just talking about you. You must have heard me or something like that. Sam, what's up? What's going on, my dude? Poggers even, perhaps, mayhaps. So yeah, and I even went as far to write this guide, I guess, or a script you could call it, with different stuff that I wanted to talk about or go over, because we did a little bit of a dry run for this last week with a live Q&A, and it was alright. It just kind of ran into I stopped having things to talk about, and then when you run out of things to talk about and you don't have anybody that you're on the stream with bouncing stuff back and forth off of, you just kind of run into some walls. So this time around, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to map out everything I want to talk about. So what's up from Alaska, Danny? What's going on, my dude? Randall, I wore my headband today and I felt like I was in Paco is Desperate. Well, as far as I knew, you were in Paco is Desperate. You thought you were just the fifth member that was the keyboard player that we just didn't really talk about. But yeah, you can be in Paco is Desperate again. Chris says, they sure did. I appreciate the kind words. Just enjoy yourself and have fun. That's pretty much what we want to do. I don't want to take it too seriously. I don't want this to it's not a big production. I'm doing this in my studio apartment and broadcasting from my kitchen. So there's definitely nothing fancy, high cost cameras or excellent microphones or anything like that. I'm doing with what I got and seeing what I can do with it. So So a little bit of, that's kind of a little bit of what the vision for the PIDCAST is. And I also saw it as a really neat way to get friends of mine that are both involved in music and aren't involved in music that I just might want to have a conversation with or expose to the people who, follow what we do. So it was a great way to tie that in as well. And we have a really cool guest tonight for you guys. From West Virginia's stage moms, pop punk, we have Gage Vota. I think I pronounced that correctly. If I didn't pronounce that correctly, I'm infinitely sorry. But I believe it's pronounced Gage Vota. And Gage will be on a little bit later talking about Stage Mom's new EP and everything along with that. So that's going to be super, super awesome. And stick around for that conversation because Gage is a great person and that is a great band. And you should definitely be aware of Stage Moms. Let's see. So, for those who may be tuning in and don't really have any fucking idea what Paco is Desperate even is, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. Paco is Desperate started as my solo project that I did with just an acoustic guitar in 2014. Did that for years. Gigged around like that. It was, just me and my acoustic guitar. I did some lo-fi independent releases. They don't, aren't on the internet anymore because, in my opinion, they were awful, and I just kind of want to separate away from those. But so that's what it started as, and over time I wanted to do a band. I wanted to be in a band and have a louder, fuller sound. And honestly, it's hard to get people to pay attention to what you're trying to do creatively when you're just an acoustic guy. So then it became a band, and now in 2021 it's become this whole force of nature. We have a lot of really amazing people involved, like day to day that keep up with us, and we're always working on something cool anymore. It seems like I'm always busy with Paco stuff, and I guess it's not a bad thing to be busy and not have any free time. Keeps me out of trouble. But yeah, Paco's Desperate. That's our band. We're just a little band from Toledo, Ohio with big dreams, and I am just a goofy, sad boy, 20-something millennial from Ohio who is just trying to get people to care about the things that I care about and listen to the things that I have to say and offer the world. You know what I mean? So, let's see. What's new with Paco's Desperate? So, as of late, actually, before I get into that, let me check some of these comments. I see Jeff Burns is in the chat. What's up, Jeff? Jeff from Brown Maple. Super great another Toledo band that just signed to Chillwave Records, and they're doing some really big things, so definitely pay attention to Brown Maple. I would love to have Jeff on here at some point. Let's see. Stage Moms are legit. 100% they are. They're a great pop punk band. Sam says Ligma Mama. Yeah, sure. Alex says, yo, what up, Alex? Thanks for popping in and saying hi, man. So, yeah, what's new with Paco? We just hit the studio with Steven Wartzler. That was in February, and we recorded a new EP, which you guys know about now. It's called Glow. It's coming out May 28th. 5 brand new songs. Completely different from anything that we've done before. You're gonna hear these songs, and you're gonna, I think a lot of you are probably gonna be like, who the fuck is this band and where did they come from? Obviously we've always been known as kind of like a Midwest emo kind of indie project, and I think, that was a fair characterization, but I wanted to explore a heavier sound. I wanted to do post-hardcore really bad, and that's pretty much what we did. We have a really solid post-hardcore EP that we did with Steve. Steve is an amazing producer, and working with him was absolutely stellar. 10 out of 10, 100%. I would recommend anybody to go to Steve to record, especially, if you just want somebody that's going to help you turn your sound to that potential it can have. Steve is your guy, and he's right here in Toledo, so it's super cool. So we recorded the EP. We have a music video shoot actually this Saturday, March 27th. Our former bassist, Daniel, is actually going to direct the video, and our friend Ben Vasco is going to film it. So that's pretty cool, like tie into the whole larger Paco family. We like to keep it in the family. So we got the music video coming up. Tomorrow I am doing a live stream with the other guys from the BST, which is our management. I think that's going to be 8 p.m. tomorrow. We'll be live streaming and just shooting the shit, having fun. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That's going to be cool. Trying to think what else is new in the world of Paco. Cole got a new guitar for $30 at a pawn shop, and it sounds way better than any $30 pawn shop guitar should ever sound, which is hype. Let's see, that's 10 days after my birthday. Hey, well, happy early birthday? How does time work? Is it linear? I don't even understand time. So, Zyler says, cute. No, you. Oh, wait, Sam already said no. You beat me to it. So you can't steal my line like that. That's not cool. So that's pretty much all that's really new that I can think of at the moment. Oh yeah, this is funny. I wrote to plug the new signature drumsticks of Zyler from the band Nicotinated. He has some signature drumsticks now that are done by Scorpion Percussion, and so definitely check those out. They got his signature on them and everything. Super cool. I guess I kind of also wanted to talk a little bit about COVID, because I think that this is getting ready to be a big topic in music, is how are we going to get back to live music? How is that process going to happen? And when is that process going to happen? When should it happen? How should it happen? So I want to talk about that a little bit. I think that it's pretty obvious to most people that, live music is going to be back sooner rather than later. The vaccine's getting out there, kind of, I think, more slowly than a lot of us would like, but it is getting out there. We do see that cases are dropping in a lot of places and stuff like that, and the curfews are being lifted. So that's, super positive. That's a great thing. We've been dealing with a global pandemic for over a year now that has completely upended everything that we knew about life. You know what I mean? Like, none of us have ever really encountered something or dealt with something like this ever, that I can think of. Anything quite. I mean, maybe 9/11 it was, but it was, it was like, it was there and it was done. It didn't last like over a year and put everybody into lockdown. So I think that this pandemic is running its course. I think we're starting to get to that point where the light at the end of the tunnel is starting to really be visible. I think that summer to fall is a super fair time frame to start. We're starting to see a lot of bands book tour, or I don't know if tours so much, but like fests in the summer and the fall. So I'm just kind of going by what the larger acts and the bigger dogs in the business are doing, and they're going, back to gigging here not very far into the future. So I think it's reasonable to assume that we'll be seeing, a return to live music sooner than anybody anticipated, which is exciting. It's also a very weird feeling because it's been so long without live music that it's there's this almost feeling of like, when we get back out there, are people still going to show up? Am I still going to like know what to do up there? Am I still going to be like comfortable? It's like a whole new world. I'm super excited to get back to playing. It has been a huge absence in my life, like not being able to go out and play shows. And that's such an important part of like my mental well-being, my makeup as a human being. Like my soul yearns for it. So to not be able to do that for over a year, and then to finally now be seeing this light at the end of the tunnel, it is super exciting. I see the chat is blowing up, so let me go over some of these here. Nicotinated sucks. I don't think that's fair. I think that they're a great band. Andrea says, I'm halfway to being fully vaccinated. Well, good on you for getting your vaccine, and I encourage everyone to get your vaccine as soon as you possibly can. If we all do our part right now, the sooner the better. We can get back to playing shows and going to shows and seeing our friends, sooner rather than later. So go get your fucking vaccine. Jihan says, of course you will, heart, heart, heart. Of course you will. What is that in reference to? The part where I was saying, like, if I know what to do on stage? I don't know, man. It's been a while. It's like, whew, it almost makes me nervous to think about, but it's like a nervous excitement. I'm really pumped. Especially with these new songs. Like we're gonna come back to live music with an entirely new set list, of songs that I think are gonna translate really well live too. So that's exciting. I can't wait to play some of these new songs live. I really think that we've got some ragers on the books. There's one song in particular on the record that we've played at shows before. It's not like a completely unheard song. It's called The Arsonist. And that song, that's a bop, dude. I'm super, excited to see what we can do with that live. Okay, so alright, so we talked about COVID, we talked about when we might be able to return to the stage. So we're about right at the point where I was hoping, kind of talk about if anybody has any questions. I don't exactly know entirely what the format of this show is going to be going forward. So we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna do it just by trying and seeing what works and what doesn't. So I wanted to try doing like you guys, if you had any questions about Paco is Desperate, about what we had going on, if there was anything that you wanted an answer to, or were curious about, I would be more than happy to answer any questions. I'm gonna try to get Logan or Cole on here later, so I'm sure that one of those guys will also be more than happy to answer any questions. And of course, if nobody has any questions, not a big deal. Basically, just kind of want to shoot the show with you guys and see how everybody's doing. We're all in this together. I like to think of Paco and the Paco party that we started calling it, or whatever. It's like a family. It's a tight-knit kind of, we all, I would like to think that we all, make an effort to care about each other and to show that, we do. And I want that to be a part of, you know, our identity as a band. I don't want to be like a disconnected band. I want us to be a band that's like engaged with the people who are interested in us and follow us. And the better ways that I can serve you guys and interact with you guys, you know, let me know if you have suggestions. Absolutely open-minded to anything. You know, I wanted to try different things to be able to talk more directly and more intimately with you guys, and that's the people that make all of this happen. You know, Paco wouldn't absolutely be anything if it weren't for the people who care about us. So, is there any questions? Does anybody got anything that they wanted to ask? You know? Because I am full of answers. I don't know if you'll like them, but I've got them. Promise. And while I wait to see if anybody actually has any questions, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Mr. Jar. Mr. Jar was a jar that we used at a gig at the Ottawa Tavern for a raffle draw, and somehow he ended up in my car, where he sat for probably 6 months until I took him out one day and decided to paint him a little face. And you can see his little cute jar face. I like to think of Mr. Jar as our band mascot. I trust Mr. Jar. I would, you know, trust Mr. Jar with, like, money. I would, you know, trust him with, if I had children, I would just trust him with my kids. That's the kind of guy Mr. Jar is. Real swell fell. And glad to have him here on the PIDCAST. Mr. Jar will be hanging out over there. So, yeah. Hi, Mr. Jar. I like Mr. Jar. I like Mr. Jar, too. Mr. Jar is great. I adore Mr. Jar, really. Honestly. I'll be free here in 10ish, says Logan. Alright, cool. So, I will say that we are going to talk to Gage Vota from Stage Moms at 10:40. We'll be bringing him on, so it's currently 10:17. We got about 23 minutes or so of shooting the shit and whatever else that may entail. And then we'll be bringing Gage on to talk to him, so that's going to be exciting. Definitely stick around for that. I've got a whole bunch of different questions I kind of wanted to ask about the new record and stuff, and so I'm excited to see how they answer. Let's see. So while I kind of get my bearings here, oh, this is neat. I wrote down a couple things that were neat from the previous week that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so number one, there was this video by a YouTube channel called Action Lab, and they're like a science channel. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I actually hardcore really fuck with that stuff. I'm on YouTube quite more frequently than I probably want to admit on this live stream, just, like, I guess studying. That's kind of what it is. I mean, it's more of a passive kind of curiosity more than it is like an active, like, academic research kind of thing. But I love to learn. I love to learn about space and physics and chemistry and all that boring shit. There was a video that they did, and it was on this, it's kind of like a video game simulation. And what the video game simulated was the player character, first person, you walk around in this like village, and you can pick up these orbs. And every time you pick up an orb, the speed of light slows down. So what the goal of the simulation is to basically like show from the perspective of a human being what it would look like if all of a sudden the speed of light slowed down to, say, walking speed for the average human, and how that would affect like how we saw the world and stuff. And it was so cool. It was really just the coolest thing, because I never think about things like this until somebody, you know, raises a what if or a possibility like that. And then when I actually do think about it, I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like, the fact that we can even, you know, we have the technology, this, you know, where we are as a society, that we have the technology to simulate stuff like that. And I will say, definitely check out that video, because the speed of light looks really wonky when it slows down. It's like when you're moving towards something, the light is actually moving slower than you are, so it looks like what you're moving towards is moving away from you. And then if you move backwards, it looks like things are coming towards you, because the opposite is true. Definitely a cool video. Channel called Action Lab. If you ever get bored and you want to learn some stuff, great channel. My first ever Dungeons and Dragons campaign is about to approach its 1-year anniversary. I always knew about Dungeons and Dragons. Never really was like into like RPG or fantasy stuff. Like I was more of a like I like video games, but I was more of like a Call of Duty kid, you know. And so now as an adult, when I was invited to join this D&D campaign, I was like, you know, I'll try anything once, and it's turned out to be a really super cool experience and super fun. D&D is actually awesome, and the people that you know build your characters and these stories with, you end up becoming really good friends. So our 1-year anniversary is coming up, and I designed a t-shirt for us, and we're ordering those, and we're going to have those for the 1-year anniversary, and I just thought that was really neat, so I thought I would share that. And then I guess I had one more thing. Oh yeah, COVID. Back to COVID for a second. Last week, I had a little bit of a COVID scare. Had an exposure, went and got tested twice, actually, and both tests were negative, so I am in good shape. No COVID here, but definitely there for a second I was sweating a little bit. And I had to take 5 days off work, mandatory, of course, to get tested. So I had a lot of free time, but I didn't have a lot of free time because all my free time was immediately taken by projects that various different creative stuff I like to work on, and I've been really into graphic design lately. I can just sit and I can just draw and edit for like hours on hours, and it doesn't bother me. It's just something I'm passionate about, and there's not very many things in the world like that have that effect for me. So I am super stoked on graphic design right now. I wrote down here, try and interact with the viewers as much as possible. So I should do that, right? I should try and interact with the viewers. We have currently 7 viewers. It looks like. Sound off, everybody. Thanks for watching the PIDCAST live, the inaugural episode. Certainly glad to have you, and hopefully we'll have you back next Wednesday as well, because we'll be right back here with another special guest. Oh, somebody said something. I'm in 2-week quarantine right now, says Andrea. When I played, I had a zombie donkey named Hephaestus. Hephaestus is an excellent name for anything, let alone a zombie donkey, so props on that name. 2-week quarantine right now. Was that because of an exposure, or is that because, I know you said you got the vaccine, the first half of the vaccine, is that something that you have to do for that? Because I need to get up on my vaccine knowledge. Here in Ohio, it's going to be for everybody, March 29th, so I'm going to try, get in quick and get that taken care of, and I really don't have any idea how any of that works. So if you happen to know how I can get a vaccine in Ohio, March 29th or sometime around there, please feel free to share some information with me. Mr. Jar is also here to take questions, if you have any. He is a very talkative guy once you get him going, very social, has a weird amount of knowledge about like rainforests. I think maybe like some sort of like, I don't know, weird like thing he's obsessed with. I don't know. He's into some strange things. But yeah, he also can take questions if you guys have any for him. Work closed for 2 weeks, several exposures. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what happened for me too. I work. I don't like to go into a lot of detail about my work because I very much like to keep what I do with the band and my job separate. But I work in a small office, basically with 3 other coworkers. So if one of us got it, pretty much everybody was gonna be out, because we're sharing a close quarters, and there's only so many of us at any given time to work. So yeah, my entire staff got sent home and go get a COVID test, and they closed down the store, and they're like, I wanted to get a test ASAP because I really can't afford to be missing work right now, but yeah, that sucks. I hate COVID, man. This shit sucks. COVID is lame. What's your favorite rainforest? I'm assuming that question is posed to Mr. Jar because he's the rainforest guy. He really likes the Amazon. That's his favorite, he says. He likes the word Amazon. It's exotic. It sounds fancy. It really gets his tingles going. And yeah, that's his thoughts on that. Now, he does not like Jeff Bezos, though. He thinks Jeff Bezos is a capitalist scumbag who should be hung in the public square. But, you know, we don't need to get into politics, Mr. That's probably not the time or the place for that. Yeah. I'm in childcare. Oh, okay, so do you, are you like in education, or are you just kind of like taking care of kids? What exactly, what specifically, what kind of childcare are you doing? Oh, hey, we got 12 viewers. Hello, everybody. I'm glad that you guys are tuned in tonight. Why is Domino's better than Papa John's? See, actually, that's where you're fucking wrong, kiddo, because it's not. Domino's, I'm not going to say that they're bad pizza, because I don't think that would be a fair statement to make. But to sit here and pretend and to insist upon me somehow that Papa John's is worse than Domino's pizza, you're delusional. You are delusional, my friend, and you need to get your head checked. Because that barbecue meat lovers from Papa John's, oh, mwah, I'd be hitting like no other pizza, my guy. And Domino's definitely ain't got nothing on the menu that is even comparable in terms of heat. Richie says Marco's is better. You know what? I'm not gonna really touch that one. I actually think Marco's is pretty good. I like Marco's pizza, but I don't eat there a ton. I still think Papa John's is better. If you guys are in Toledo, you're aware of Hungry Howie's, and I think that they have a really fucking great pizza. There's one over by where I live, over here on the west side of Toledo, and it is just mwah, mwah, mwah. Excellent. Highly recommend Hungry Howie's if you guys are in Toledo and you want a good pizza. Work in a child care center and a toddler teacher. That is a super admirable gig. I'm sure it takes an incredible amount of patience that I certainly would not have in your shoes. And somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody's got to look after the kiddos. So good on you for being able to tolerate them. Papa John's is better than Domino's, I agree. Thank you. Thank you, Richie. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support from my community, especially when Sam is insisting wrong things about pizza. Okay, now, in terms of the drivers, I'm not going to say that, anything bad about the Domino's drivers. I know a very small amount of Domino's drivers, and they're really cool. So, looks like, I think, is this Logan? He's asking to, oh, he is. He's asking to join. So, now we're going to go ahead and bring on Logan, our drummer from Paco's Desperate. We're going to bring him onto the stream to shoot the shit with us for about 12 minutes before we talk to Gage. Do. Also, Porky's Pizza is the best. Their chicken on holiday best.
Hey, what up?
What's up, Logan?
Hey, can you hear me?
Very faintly.
Right up. Okay, did you hear that? My bad.
I can hear you a little bit better now.
Yo, I am driving home from work.
Yeah? Driving and podcasting.
What?
You're using the dirty word. Driving and streaming. Mm.
Oh, driving and streaming. How's the PIDCAST doing? Like,
I think so far it's going really well. I'm having a good time.
word.
I feel like I've talked more in the past 30 minutes than I did the previous 24 hours, but sorry.
Yeah, this is my first time live. I'm like super scared.
You're scared? Yeah, man. You got those nerves, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
dude, just pull over to the side of the road and just like scream as loud as you can, just like into the woods. And you'll feel
find an old McDonald's bag and breathe aggressively into it.
yes. Yeah. I highly encourage it. Maybe while you're at it, put the plastic bag from Kroger over your head too. I hear that has a calming effect.
Yeah, just do it until you eventually stop breathing, and then there's no more problems. Like,
That got really dark really quick.
It's, I blame you. You definitely started that one. So
Well, yeah. So, how was work, Logan? You're driving home from work. What was work like? Did you have fun at work at your job?
no, it was terrible, and it sucked, and I hate it. But it's over, and now I am gonna go home and smash on some like pizza or something. So
We were just talking about pizza before you came on the stream. We subliminally influenced you.
this the
Better
PIDCAST is
not
brought
get
to you
Domino's.
in part by
Better
pizza.
not get Domino's. Papa John's is the shit. Fuck Domino's.
I don't know, man. Isn't like Papa John like kind of like a garbage human or something?
Oh, Papa himself is trash and racist, from what I understand. I'm still waiting for that reckoning that he promised when he got really sweaty and did the thing.
Yeah, when he ate like a month's worth of pizza in like a week or something like that.
I've eaten 40 pies in 30 days.
Yeah, I don't know about that, dude.
That reminds me of that movie Super Size Me, where that dude does the documentary where he eats McDonald's every day for like a month, and then he goes and sees his doctor, and his doctor's basically like you have the health of like a 50-year-old man, like like your
Yeah,
cholesterol shot up, your like liver's fucked up, like, and just completely like trashes his body, just eating McDonald's every day for a month. So I can only imagine what 40 Papa John's pizzas in 30 days would do to you. But I think he did later actually recant that. He said he didn't actually eat the 40 pizzas in 30 days. So that was just bullshit. Fucking
so
Papa,
he
man.
just fucking lied to us.
He lied
Uh,
to us right to our faces, and I trusted that man.
You
I
know,
tr-
if the racism didn't do it, then like it's definitely that. But realistically, that should have been like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Catch up on a couple comments here, Logan. Andrea says, Logan, in all caps with a bunch of exclamation marks. Hi, Logan.
Andrea! I miss Andrea. Like, it's been like a hot minute since I've seen you or Steven. Like, you gotta let him know I said hey. Like, it's been a while. I've been thinking about him lately.
These people. I just know that Andrea is really nice and very supportive of our band, so she's cool in my book.
Uh, Babe's here. Hey, babe.
Richie says, my question, do you guys ever get in disagreements during songwriting and recording? All the fucking time.
Yeah.
Every practice, every time we go to the studio, here's the thing, three now. We're three very passionate people. We love music, and we have strong opinions about like how music should sound because we all, have a different thing to bring to the table. I think that, is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing sometimes because we also feel very, strongly about our different ideas and they do clash at times. So it is something that happens. What we try to do to the best of our ability is kind of just water under the bridge, forgive and forget, move on. Because ultimately we're a team, we're friends, and we want to be successful. So we can't just bicker all the time. That's not really going to get us anywhere. So to answer your question, yes, we constantly fight, but we always make up.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when like this band is like kind of like I don't know, like we're still kind of like we still feel like DIY and like small, but like there's just so much happening like and like it's constantly moving and changing and like you kind of have to be like down. Like we all just kind of learn to be like down and like like just trust each other like and
Yeah.
like I don't know how to put it other than that, to be honest.
Me and you have definitely had some fucking come to Jesus fights between
Yeah.
us. And it almost always is for the same reason. It's just because we both feel so passionately about something that we kind of like have a little bit of a difficulty seeing the other person's perspective. I think is kind of how that happens.
Yeah, I like ultimately, like I said, it's just like you gotta either like when it comes down to that, you just kind of got to be like, you got to roll with it. You got to roll with it, or you got to like stay around and like. We haven't written like a bad song yet. I don't think so. Like, it always just kind of works out in the end, and like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I mean, I think it comes down to like just having confidence in, you know, your bandmates and that you're gonna work shit out. And yeah, I don't think we have made a bad song. I think that in the end we always come together in a really strong way. Andrea says Paco's PIDCAST, which maybe is like maybe like a pop punk side podcast we do. Maybe, I don't know. Michaela says, no pizza. I made Chinese, LOL. So better not get no pizza. You're going to get in trouble with the lady.
Even better. I'm like super stoked to eat that food right now. I'm starving.
Richie says, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I respect that and completely understand. Yeah, man. I mean, these dudes ultimately, I'm trying to build a brand. I'm trying to establish a band as like a band to pay attention to, a band to support. And your bandmates are your teammates. I mean, your partners. If you start a business with, you know, say you get 3 partners and you start a business at like a law firm, I mean, those other partners are going to be your number one allies, and you need to rely on them for that business to be successful. Exact same thing with a band. And I've told Logan this before too. You know, if we're gonna be in this band together, like we damn well should try to be friends. And I think since that we've definitely gotten better about it, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that too.
Sam says, Zyler says, oh hey. Sam says, Logan, I want you to give me a stick and poke. And we just talked about you giving me a stick and poke.
What does he want? I would give him a stick and poke. I'm so excited. My toast was telling me that I made this like spooky ghost drawing, and like they were just like, oh, you gotta come over and put that in my skin forever. So like I might be doing that soon, but like that's not a stick and poke. Like they've got an actual like machine, and I'm afraid to use it, but I'm also excited, and I hope I don't ruin like their arm or whatever they want it forever.
Well, tattoos are forever, supposedly.
Yeah.
But I would be so down. I mean, I was just over your house recently, and I finally saw in person the fabled Jewel tattoo, machine gun or whatever. Jewel gun, I don't know what the fuck you call it. It's literally just a fucking sewing needle on a damn jewel.
Yeah, it's you just pretty much like repetitively like stab yourself with it. You get some like thread and you wrap it around the tip, and like it kind of soaks in the ink, and you kind of just keep stabbing yourself, and like eventually like you get a tattoo out of it, I guess.
Well, I would love to get a stick and poke tattoo from you with the Jewel stick and poke, because 1, that's just punk as fuck, and 2, I don't want to die in this life without having ever at least had a stick and like there's things in life that you haven't lived unless you've done, and I feel like a stick and poke jail tattoo from a Jewel is one of those things.
Yeah. You gotta
Mr. Jar, please.
Mr. Jar.
Yeah,
I think I can give him a stick and poke. I think his
we're gonna give him a face tat, dude. It's gonna be like fucking. It's gonna be like a hamburger.
Yeah.
On his face, or maybe a rainforest. So it is 10:39, Logan, and so we got Gage from Stage Moms coming up to talk to us about Stage Moms' new EP. So I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna take you off, and then we'll come back to you later and finish the stream. But I'm gonna get him on here so we can start talking to Gage.
All right, cool. I'm almost like home anyway, so I gotta go in. So
cool. So we're gonna get Gage from Stage Moms. Wait, what?
What up? Tell Gage I said what up, and I like his music.
For sure. He's watching right now.
Probably watching right now. Hey, Gage.
I just saw his head pop up. I get these heads up top. It shows me who's in the chat, and I saw him. So let me see about getting him on here. I'll talk to you later, Logan.
All right, baby.
add Gage on here, and we're going to bring the special guest of the evening, Mr. Gage Vota. Gage Moms. How's it going today, my dude? What's up?
Can you hear me? Is everything good?
Yeah, you sound great. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you good.
Right on, man. So what's up?
Not much, just living the COVID dream.
Yeah, living the dream. You guys just put out a record, an EP called Almost Heaven Feels Like Hell. And that record came out, what was it, like 2 weeks ago or so?
Yeah, two weeks ago on the 12th? Yeah.
Okay. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you actually was about that. What was the experience like recording Almost Heaven Feels Like Hell, and how do you feel about how it came out and how it's being received?
So it was really fun recording with we went up to New Jersey and recorded with Nick from Man Overboard and Ace from the Early November.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really cool because Jersey has like really strict mask mandates, and where I live, like specifically my hometown, nobody wears masks. So it was like, oh shoot, like I'm not terrified of going to the gas station. Like I'm not terrified of like going to this like.
Motherfuckers are actually responsible around here.
Oh yeah, it was great. We went to like the boardwalk and like it was still sketch, but like everyone wore masks and like obviously still like 6 feet apart and everything, but it was definitely cool. But I really liked it. The experience. We were supposed to record it in like early summer of last year, but because of COVID, obviously everything got pushed back. So we recorded it in September, and it turned out great. Those dudes, they kill it. And then I think everyone's been digging it so far. I mean, I don't know. Like people's been saying they like it, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think I had seen they it was like a post where you had said it's got like 23,000 streams so far or something, which is crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I would call that a success.
Yeah, I know that's like obviously it's kind of hard. Like I think we were talking about that on like Facebook, like Messenger. Like it's kind of hard because like without shows you can't really see, like they just look like numbers on your phone. Like they don't like actually equate to like people. Like it doesn't feel like they're people. And like obviously if people message you or tweet at you or whatever and say they dug it, like that looks more real. But like the numbers, that's just numbers on a screen, and you kind of got to like get out of that like mentality and just like realize these are actually people and actually people listening to it. So I think when shows come back, I'll at least feel a little better and a little like I'm actually accomplishing something.
Yeah, and that, yeah, there's earlier on the show I was talking about that exact same thing. It just kind of feels like there's this void that's been left in my life without shows, and I'm really stoked to see the progress we're making. I mean, and how much misinformation and just, you know, politics we had to deal with to get people to understand why it's important to wear a mask and protect your community. So Gage, when did Stage Moms begin? When was the origin of Stage Moms?
So it was I want to say late 2019, like September 2019, we formed, and then we released our first EP November 2019.
Gotcha.
So it was pretty short. I started jamming with these two dudes who aren't in the band anymore, and and then Drew, which he started out as our guitarist, and for this EP he's our drummer. But like I knew the other dudes just from like DIY shows and like local shows, and then like Thunderbirds, which was the venue I owned, and then I didn't know Drew at all. Like none of us knew him, and it's funny that he's the one that lasted out of the like original four. Like but
it's always never who you think it's gonna be. You know what I mean?
I know. Like no one knew him. He just moved to Pittsburgh like about like a year or something before. He was living out in like Hawaii, and then before that he was I think like Iowa or Idaho, the potato one, whatever one that is. I always get those two states confused because I don't know anything about them. But yeah, it's kind of weird how like we just linked up because he's married to my friend's sister, and it kind of just like
All right, on.
worked out. Yeah.
Small world. Funny how things connect like that, you know.
Oh yeah, for real, it was real small world.
So, you know, I was also curious, like, early on with Stage Moms in the beginning versus now, how have things changed? What's different? Is there things that are the same? You know, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so when we first like started the band or anything, we had like no aspirations or goals or anything like that. We were just like, maybe we'll play a few shows at Thunderbirds. Like we never even like wanted to tour or really talk about touring or anything. It was just like a fun like jam band. But then like we started writing and kind of just like I kind of like got into like a mindset of we should tour, and then like
We
it's
should do
kind of
something
funny.
with this.
Yeah, like so we recorded with our friend James Becca. He recorded us the first EP, and then we did like a weekender, and then we did another weekender, and then we did like our first like real tour.
Yeah.
And then we just did some more weekenders, and then did another tour, and then now we're here. So we
Yeah.
didn't even really get to tour that much off the first EP or in general because of COVID and stuff. But all of us have been in like a bunch of bands and like toured and stuff before, so it's like it's easier just this time around because like we all know what to expect out of it, and now like moving forward we just want to tour as much as possible.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, this day and age, the state of rock music, the kind of music that you and I both make, it's you know, pretty much we rely on touring to get our music out there for one, and then also to drive revenue through merch and, you know, live gates and stuff like that, because we both know streaming's not paying anything, and that's where you grow. You meet people. You know, if you play a show in front of 7 people in some dive bar and one of them becomes a fan, that's a victory. Speaking of Thunderbirds, I know that you mentioned Thunderbirds, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about Thunderbirds. So you started and owned your own music venue, Thunderbirds, and that was in Moundsville, West Virginia, correct? That's where you're from?
Yeah, that's where so Stage Moms is based out of West Virginia, or Thunderbirds. Jeez, I cannot talk. What Stage Moms is based out of Moundsville, West Virginia, because that's where Thunderbirds is or was. But
Right.
I live in St. Clairsville, Ohio. So
Gotcha.
technically I don't live in West Virginia, but like yeah, that's where it was, in Moundsville, West Virginia.
So what goes into something like opening a music venue, and how has life changed now that Thunderbirds, unfortunately, you know, you were forced to close because of the COVID pandemic?
Yeah, so obviously going into it, just gotta figure out how to get the money. Like it's all just money. It's just like let's
That's gotta
get
be
as
quite
much.
an investment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm
That
definitely
alone here is
still got some debt collectors coming after me. But yeah, it was basically just like trying to get some money together and hit up like the James Becca, like I said, who recorded us. He was a part of Thunderbirds, and we had about like 8 of us that were like a collective, and so we all just like put our like heads together and try to figure out like the best way to open up a venue, and so we did. And then with it closing, it's just like it sucks. Like I don't really.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I figured. You know, it can't feel good.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself at any point in the future going down that route again? You want to try, you know, when live music comes back, have you ever thought about maybe opening another venue?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people's been asking me that, and it's kind of just like, no, like I would love to, but nah, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. And like,
Fair
I
enough.
mean, who knows? Like, maybe I'll get lucky and win the lottery someday or something. But like, I just don't.
Both, really. Me and me
Yeah,
both.
I just don't see it being not even financially possible, but just like, I just don't see it being possible again.
Sorry for the brother. I apologize for that. Actually,
Yeah, we did, brother.
I have it written down here that Gage uses they them pronouns, and so
Nah, you're
apologize.
Gucci.
Um,
Hell
so
yeah, brother.
One thing that I actually really wanted to ask you about, because I think it's kind of funny, is can you tell me what the hell aggressive pop punk is?
So we just call it aggressive pop punk. I mean, I don't know if that's like an actual thing or not. I mean, I'm sure it is, but like I don't know. We just when I started this band, I wanted to sound like Crucial Dudes and like Dagger Mouth and just
Okay.
as like aggressive like dude bro style vocals, like the gritty stuff.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if like aggressive pop punk's like an actual term, but that was the best way to describe it without calling us easycore. Like no
Yeah.
shade to easycore, but we're just like not easycore.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being an easy core band, but it's also incredibly difficult to sell an easy core band.
Yeah, I
That's a
think
real
like
niche audience, my guy.
oh yeah, and like plus easycore's got that like pretty boy like singing mixed with like the
Yeah,
screaming and like the raspy stuff. And
yeah.
like I I yell because I know I can't sing. So
Well,
like
you did switch it up a little bit on the new EP, like on sophomore slump. You really showed off your chops as a singer, and it really surprised me because I had heard older Stage Mom, so I kind of came into the EP with an idea of what I assumed it would sound like, and it was like, holy crap, this guy sounds like Parker Cannon right now, and he's killing it.
well thank you.
They're
That's I love me some the story so far, which is funny because a lot of people like said that we like sophomore slump reminded them of like the story so far, and I haven't listened to them for a hot minute, so like it kind of got me back into like listening to them again because I was like I'm gonna figure out if we actually sound like them or not, and I don't see it, but it's a great compliment. I love that band.
The first time I ever heard sophomore slump, I was absolutely blown away, floored. I think I said this in a Facebook post, and I stand by this, and I meant it when I said it. I think that song is as good as any other pop punk hit from the last 15 years. It's just an immaculate written pop punk song. It's a really well written pop punk song that you deliver a really strong vocal performance on. And I was like instantly when I heard sophomore slump, I'm like, I'm really excited for this EP. Let's see. If
I
you
think
could build your own dream tour lineup with 3 other bands, living or dead, who would you pick and why?
oh gosh, that's hard. I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a second. I gotta think about this.
We can come back to that one if you
Yeah.
want. If you
You
feel
said
like,
living or dead? They have to be
yeah,
bands, or can they be just anything?
it could be anything, living or dead.
We gotta do like the Wonder Years are my all-time favorite band, so I gotta throw them on there. I think Lil Peep. I mean, I'm literally wearing a GBC shirt right now, but Lil Peep, and then like probably like I don't know, probably like Pat the Bunny,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
us, I guess. Very weird tour.
I would be interested though. I would see that lineup and I'd be like, there's something very strange going on here, and I'm here for it. Um, I think for me, my selection would probably surprise people. I would pick Nirvana, Green Day, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I know that sounds like such a boomer thing to say, but like when you talk about rock bands that really underscore the what it feels like to be like an alternative band that's like punk influence and also can deliver on the charts in the mainstream sense. They can sell records and fill stadiums. Like those are the bands, and nobody did
Oh
it.
yeah.
I think sharing a stage with Kurt Cobain would be insane, and I really like Green Day's earlier stuff, like way more than I should. Early on, when I was like learning to sing, Billy Joe was probably my biggest influence as a singer, and I, to this day, am a big Green Day stan. Um, man, I'm like, I think we went through all of our questions that I had. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about? Anything you wanted to plug? Anything like that? I know that the record is out on Flower Pot Records. Shout out to Flower Pot Records, and you should
Yes.
definitely pick up "Almost Heaven Feels Like Hell" from Flower Pot.
Yeah, we got cassettes made from her. I love cassettes, and they hit me up and was like, "Yo, let me make some tapes for you." And obviously I was like, absolutely. But
I
yeah,
never got into the tapes. I was a vinyl person. I got really into vinyl and never really got into tapes. But I think that it's really cool that there's such a dedicated community still for them.
yeah.
Old media like that is always super interesting to me.
Yeah, I love vinyl. We wanted to the plan was to press this EP, but because of COVID, I don't really want just like a box full of records sitting in my bedroom. So I was like, we'll just maybe press it like later, or like maybe just hopefully like by the grace of God's like a bigger label can pick up the next thing we do, and we'll be able to press that or something.
Yeah,
Because
vinyl
that's
is crazy expensive to press. So
yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like the coolest thing that you can do as a band, right? It's like, yeah, oh, we're 108 gram multicolor vinyl, like it's so cool, and it is cool, but it also probably costs you like two grand just to get the upfront costs and hopefully
Yeah.
some of those records. You know what I mean? That's the big reason Paco hasn't done vinyl. I think eventually I would really like to, but yeah, like you said, money is especially with this pandemic, budget has not exactly been easy.
Yeah.
So what's next for Stage Moms? After Almost Heaven Feels Like Hell is out now, the world has heard it. The world loves it. It's done really well. It's 23,000 streams in its first week. What's next?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question we've been asking in the group chat. We're not too sure. We know that we're gonna be writing an album. We've already kind of like got the bones of some songs, but that's gonna be a while, and like we don't know. I think we've been talking about doing like a couple like singles and just throwing them out, or like just going to record them and then just have them to like once people are like, okay, we've heard Almost Heaven Feels Like Hell, like what's next? And we could just randomly drop one of those and then shoot a video for it or something. And it's just like staying relevant. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, we've talked about like maybe doing like an acoustic EP of these songs, or like maybe throwing a new one on. We don't really know. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks for this, but this is the time we should be planning something. But
Right, and you know, obviously you're not gonna have a answer immediately or anything. I just was curious to pick your brain about if you guys had thoughts on anything. I was kind of like, you know, if it were me, it's like I want to do a tour right now, and right now obviously
yeah.
we can't do that with COVID, but that would be the first answer that would come to mind. I have one final question for you, Gage, and I asked Mike Kinsella this question in a Rolling Stone Q&A in 2015, and he gave me the worst cop-out answer, so you can't do that to me. I need a good answer here. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized elephants or 10 elephant-sized ducks?
Duck-sized elephants. Probably the duck-sized elephants because they're smaller, right?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. I want your take. What would be your strategic, approach to a battle with 100 duck-sized elephants?
I mean, am I allowed to like is it just like hand-to-hand combat, or like what is it?
Well, let's say it's unarmed, because I don't think that duck-sized elephants are capable of holding weapons.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured. That's why I thought it would be an easy fight.
Like,
But
just see an elephant, like a very tiny elephant, just swinging a sword around with his trunk.
well, how many was it again? It was 100 of each.
Yeah, or 10 of the bigger.
Or 10 of each. Yeah, it's got to be the smaller ones. Although they got them tusks. There's like little tusks.
Yeah, I would pick the 10. I would pick the very large ducks, and the reason is simple. I am terrified of elephants.
You're terrified of elephants?
Elephants scare the ever-living shit out of me. I think that they're super dope creatures, and they seem just wonderful. But the whole idea of them just having this large face noodle that they could like attack me with just kind of gives me a really irrational fear. I don't know. I'm not an elephant guy.
What was the cop-out answer? What'd they say when you asked
We don't
them?
fight animals. We're American football. We're American football, and we don't fight animals.
Is that wait? Who
And
did
then
you
I
ask
asked him
this
again
to?
on Twitter. I asked him again on Twitter a couple of years later, and he told me to get a girlfriend. So me and Mike have a great relationship.
Who was it?
Mike Kinsella from American football.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I definitely didn't hear that when you asked the question. We don't get a girlfriend. Dude I love American football, but dude plays like Midwest emo. They should not be saying get a girlfriend to anyone.
Yeah, I think I might have called him like a 100% certified poser or something. I don't.
That's funny.
Yeah, I ribbed on. There was a period of time I ribbed on Mike Kinsella on the internet for the entertainment of myself and others,
Oh my
and
God.
unfortunately, that fun died because someone said that I was being mean to Mike Kinsella, like he doesn't know how to take it or something. But yeah, I want to
Now
make.
you're never gonna get to play with American football, and now because I'm on this, they'll say that we can never play with American
You
football.
guys are
So
officially American football canceled now.
you ruined it.
I ruined it.
That would
It's
be
so
crazy if that's when I just ended this. I just like
That's why. Yeah, well, we're never gonna play with Mike, so what's the point?
yeah. I just like ended the call and then you never heard from me again.
Just went like to some cave in Eastern Europe and just hid for the rest of the days as a hermit.
Yeah.
Well, Gage, it's absolutely been a pleasure to have you on and talk with you about the new EP and what you got going on with Stage Moms. Thank you for coming on for the first episode. I hope that it was a positive thing for you. Is there
Yeah,
anything
it's fun.
to plug before we go back to? I'm gonna get Logan back on here to finish up the stream. But is there anything you wanted to plug before we finish up?
Yeah, so follow us at Stage Moms WV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on anything wherever you stream music. Tomorrow, Ryan and I will be streaming with a bunch of other people at
Yeah.
8 p.m., right?
Yes, we're all gonna
Oh.
hop on Zoom and I'm sure it's going to be something else. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna
Yeah.
be. I was at the handguns Halloween party. I know how this works. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be a party. That's for sure.
That's funny. Is that gonna be on Facebook like live or is it
I don't
like
know.
what are they? Yeah, I'm not really sure. But yeah, watch that. I'm sure that'll be a hoot and holler and time. But yeah, follow us wherever you want to follow us at. That'd be cool.
And buy Almost Heaven Feels Like Hell, the new EP from Stage Moms, out on Flower Pot Records right now. You can buy it right now at is it flowerpotrecords.bandcamp.com?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So our mutual friend Wes is in charge of that operation, and so yeah, definitely support the record, and Flower Pot is a great label. So yeah, man, thanks for coming on, and hopefully this is the last time we do something like. Well, it won't be because we're doing it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll see you.
Right on, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. Take care. Have a good night, man.
You too. I'll see you.
So that was Gage from Stage Moms. Thank you, Gage, for coming on and talking with us, doing a little interview, whatever segment. That was pretty cool. Learned some new stuff about Stage Moms. I didn't know what Drew played in the band. So now knowing that he's the drummer, I feel a little less dumb than I did before. I'm gonna check the comments here because I know me and Gage have been shooting the shit for a second here. Let's see. Popping in. Daddy's going night night, says Taylor. Dylan says, good night, guys. Time for me to go sleep. Okay. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us. Enjoy your night. And yeah, love you guys. See you tomorrow. For those of you that are still sticking around, stick around for a couple more minutes. We're going to get Logan back on here. We're going to shoot the shit for a little bit longer, and then we will go ahead and close the stream after that. I appreciate everyone who's come and watching tonight with us. We got 7 viewers. I've seen that we've had as high as like 12 to 15 tonight, so that's awesome. I'm super stoked on that because I was worried that nobody would show up, so that's great. All right, so Logan, Cole, I don't know if you guys are in here still, but I would like to get one of you back on the stream. I do not see either of you in here, so I might actually have to wait a little bit to bring anybody else on. But okay, I think I have some other things here that we could talk about. And the first thing is that next week on the PIDCAST, we have a very special guest. We will have Dylan from the band Weatherworn will be our special guest next week. So tune in, and I will be talking, shooting the shit with Dylan. And Weatherworn is a great band. Definitely check them out, and I'm super stoked to see how that goes. Andrea says, Logan, Logan, Logan. Well, can like somebody get him back into the chat? Because I don't know where he went. I'm gonna bring somebody else on, Logan. You're gonna lose your spot in line, pal, if you don't get back in here in a jiffy. I'm gonna get real cross. Yeah, so I tell you what, guys, I have zero broadcasting, streaming experience. This is all incredibly new to me. I am really, really pushing myself creatively right now to try and, be a better performer, a better, musician, but also an entertainer. And I'm learning all sorts of crazy new things. So thank you so much for just being patient with me. I'm sure that, I'm nervous, so I'm a little jittery and stuff, but you guys have been wonderful tonight. And I appreciate that you guys are still here showing support. As I get more comfortable and learn a little bit more about how to not be so awkward, I think that this is going to actually end up being really cool. Let's see. This is giving me new bands to check out. Perfect. Perfect. Ideally, that's kind of what we want to do. Obviously, we have our following and the people who listen to us, and we love, each and every person that messes with our band, but we also have a lot of really talented friends, and I would love to tell you about all of them. I would love to have all of my talented friends on here so that you can hear about all the wonderful things that they're doing, because we're not the only band that's rocking and rolling. Sam says you're a natural, homie. Well, I appreciate that. I guess that will be determined when I rewatch this episode later and then cringe at myself. How many times I cringe at myself will determine whether I hate this or how much I hate this. But I do appreciate the compliment. I will get better at it, and I will get more comfortable at it, and this is going to end up being a breeze. But first episode, I think we did pretty damn good for the first episode. I got my script that I wrote, the little guide I wrote, pretty much was spot on with the time. So, I have a template going into next week on how to kind of formulate that. And I think that, for the most part, I have managed to not be an awkward piece of shit, which is great. For the 7 of you still in here, which does not include Logan, for whatever reason, you know what? We're going to bring Taylor on. No answer? Okay, whatever. Okay. I'm gonna text Logan. Can I text Logan? I don't know if I can get out of this. So that's another thing. I need a laptop. So that I can, multitask while I'm doing this, because I'm running this entire operation from my cell phone, and I have a Galaxy Note phone, so it's perfectly capable device, has all sorts of features and stuff, but it does not allow me to multitask very well while I'm doing the stream, because obviously it is the camera. Logan is smashing Chinese, probably. Depending on your interpretation of that, that's either good or terrible, but, hopefully he'll hop back in here relatively shortly so we can do what we were supposed to do in the script, Logan. But yeah, if we don't get Logan back in here in a reasonable amount of time, I'll probably just close up shop. You guys have been here for an hour chilling with me, and I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing me talk. So, yeah, I think actually what we'll just go ahead and do is we'll just go ahead and end up closing it early, just because Logan's not here and he's probably busy smashing some food right now. Everybody, thank you so much for coming out and watching the stream, participating, commenting. This went way better than I anticipated and makes me super stoked to see how it goes going forward. Remember that we will be here every Wednesday, 10 p.m. EST, right here on our Facebook page. We will have special guests weekly. Next week we have Dylan from Weatherworn, who's going to be talking to us, and we'll have more information on all that in the coming days. Till next week, I guess. I feel like I should have a catchphrase or something I say here that's like, oh, the close. Yeah, that's what he says at the end. But I really don't have anything, so I'm just going to hold up Mr. Jar, and me and Mr. Jar are going to bid you guys a fond farewell for the evening. We will see you next Wednesday. Love you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great night.